And we're back. Tony! Sorry, the dog was getting ahead of himself. Don't go down the stairs, buddy. All right, no more interruptions. I'm back again to do a book review. It's been a little while, but that's all right, okay? So I just got done reading The Reddening by Adam Neville, okay? To start, this book was released, I think, in anywhere from 2017 to 2019, so it's fairly recent. The guy who wrote this book, Adam Neville, has also written The Ritual, which was then made into the Netflix movie. And if you haven't seen that, go check that out. That is what brought me to this book. That's what brought me into, looking into the author and all of that. I saw The Ritual. I wanted to know about the author, found out that the author had written other like horror novels and stuff like that, and I saw this. I saw the cover, and I was like, wow, I want to know what is going on here, okay? There's something going on, all right? You don't put this face on the cover if there isn't something going on, all right? The cover is clearly what drew me in, what mainly drew me in, I guess, because I saw this and I was like, wow, this is something that doesn't see the light of day. This is something that's lurking deep beneath. It's lurking deep beneath the surface. It's waiting to feed. It's thinking, it's listening, it's waiting, etc. You get the idea. I mean, you see this face, you're like, something's up. I want to know what that is. I want to know where it stays, and if we're going to have enough ammunition to kill it, okay? Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves, all right? Going in, I was like, damn, this is going to be a creature feature type novel. There's going to be a crazy monster and all of this stuff. Now, I wasn't disappointed. I was surprised. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but if you went into it for the same reasons as me, you won't be disappointed. Okay? This is still a solid novel, okay? It's not anywhere near The Fisherman, and if you haven't seen, go check out that review, okay? Not anywhere near that good, okay? But this is still a great novel, okay? Like I was saying before, I was really anticipating a monster type novel, and so like just things dwelling in a cave and stuff like that, And I got what I wanted. I did get what I wanted, okay? But there's a lot more to it, okay? For one, a lot of imagery is left up to the viewer to create in their head. Now, you can take that however you want. For me, I was kind of like, well, I wish I got a little bit more explained for me, but at the same time, the imagery you're creating in your head really adds to the suspense in the book and the eeriness. So that I think that's a plus. Really, the novel is more oriented around cult activity and strange happenings, disappearances, and a large conspiracy deep rooted in a small town. There's two main characters. There's Helene and Kat. One's a reporter, and one is a single mom who lost her brother. He committed suicide, and one of the things he left behind was recordings of prehistoric sounds recorded in a cave. So the main plot point is this woman going to find out what really happened to her brother and investigating the areas where these sounds were recorded, and that puts her in the hot seat, okay? There ends up being so much more at play than you would think, and that's why this novel is 399 pages. Now, not very brooding in length, I guess, for a seasoned reader, but for me it was a step up. I'm slowly getting to reading thicker books, and for me this was the thickest I think in a long time, I want to say. it could very well be the longest book I've committed to in general, but I also could be wrong. So moving on, my favorite things about the book are the two main characters are great, really well written, and you really feel like you understand them and their lives and the way they are as people, and the conflict in this book is very well written and immersive and exciting. The other thing I wanted to say was the setting is really interesting. The horror and eeriness. One of the characters has dreams that are very vivid, and you're creating these crazy pictures and an imagery in your mind. Another thing, sorry if I didn't explain this before, there's a lot of things happening in caves in this book. That's the main thing. And there was this exhibit where there were all these things that were found in the caves brought to like a museum or whatever, and it basically it hints at a lot of primal sort of behavior, and cannibalism and all this crazy stuff happening with the people who inhabited the caves previously. Like they find, crushed skulls, old weapons, and all this crazy shit. And that's part of the horror in the book. You're like, is this still happening? Basically, is there still something off going on in these caves? And why are these people disappearing? And who are the red folk? Okay, that's one of the biggest questions. And going back to what I said before, the cult activity is the main theme in this book. I thought it would be more about like a monster and stuff like that. And sure, there is something otherworldly going on, I guess you could say, and there is something abnormal and not animal and not human. You definitely, you still get what you are looking for if you went in for the same reasons as me, like I said before. But like I said again, there's also a lot else going on, and there's nothing wrong with that. It really ends up being an exciting experience. You're deeply invested in these two characters. You want to find out what's really going on. Why are these things happening? Who are these people? And what is influencing all of them? Those are the main questions. Story holds up. Immersiveness holds up. The what do you call it? Abnormal things that happen in this book are very exciting, and the other thing is it's sort of slow burn. So when these things happen, you've been waiting for it. You've really been like highly anticipating some crazy, strange things happening. So I think I want to say that this book was really well done because of the story and the ability to paint vivid pictures for the reader, and also wrapping it up in a nice way. But not to get sidetracked or anything, I also want to talk about the negatives. And my only negatives are, I wish the story got kickstarted a little bit quicker. There isn't much of a hump you need to get over before things get good, but I did want to say the only other issue was the dialogue in some parts. There's the cult, or just this group of people, they talk with like a thick accent, and some people sound kind of dim. You don't really know what the hell they're talking about, and it's really hard to follow. That was my issue, at least. I'm no seasoned reader, like I said, but there was some dialogue where you're like, what the hell are they going on about? Like, I kind of just chalked it up to like crazy cult talk and things like that. You know, like there's some far out things said by characters in this book. It doesn't take away from the story, but when you have to read these portions and you don't really know what the hell they're talking about or saying, it gets tiring. That, I mean, there isn't a lot of that, luckily. So that's why overall I really enjoyed the book. If this was just chock full of, you know, like weird dialogue and thick accents, you know, covering everything, then I would have more of a problem. But it was only in certain parts, and it's very easy to look past because of how well what do you call it? Well crafted the story was, and the characters and everything else along with it. So this is definitely a horror novel. There's a lot of mystery, there's suspense, there's all the good stuff, okay, with, you know, a little fluff on the side, but it was still really well done. The ending was even good too, okay? I remember I was on the last page, I was looking, it's not a full page, okay? It cuts off or whatever, you know, it's one of these, it's like that. This may be the last page too. No, it wasn't. Okay, my bad. But it's half of a page, so you're reading it and you're like, how are they going to wrap this up? And the way they did it, I started to see where it was going, and I was totally happy with it. You know, it was a little like, sure, I may have seen that before, but I like it. I'm okay with it, and it worked. All right, so like I said, this video ended up being longer than I wanted, but if you stuck around for the whole thing, you're a real one, and props to you. Because I do have key points, and I have important things to say. I think you should definitely check this book out. If you want a creature feature, you know, a sort of monster book, prehistoric thriller, any of those things, a folk horror, like it says, a folk horror thriller, from the author of The Ritual. This book really was everything that I wanted. It wasn't, I don't think that it was lacking or anything like that. There were just a couple things where I was like, I want a little bit more than that, you know, which is usually a good thing, you know, when you give what it really does is it gives you enough of a taste of what you're looking for that it leaves you wanting more. And I guess who can really complain about that, you know? I'm not going to give it less stars because I wanted more of this thing they did so well, you know? So all in all, I really liked the book. I would give it I would say 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. I would say a solid 4 stars, you know? The 3.5 only because of the things that I mentioned. But all in all, it doesn't really affect the wholesomeness of the book. And yeah, all in all, it was a really good read, and you should definitely check it out. Once again, sorry for the rambling if I get off track. Like I said before, if you made it this far, mad props to you, and that's just what's up. There needs to be more of you, all right? Everybody's got a short attention span, and we need to change that. We need to change that. Anyway, hope you liked the review, and tune in for more, because I think I'm going to do a few more if I don't keep screwing up these takes. All right, take care.